question towards one of the student athletes or coaches. If you are joining on Zoom, please use the raise hand function for questions. We will address questions in the room first and then take questions from Zoom if time permits. Joining us now is the Louisville Cardinals head coach Dan McDonnell and student athletes Patrick Forbes and Jake Munroe. We'll start with an opening statement from Coach and then open it up to questions for the student athletes.
Obviously, congratulations to Oregon State. Man, they played well outside. I know that was kind of a freaky error there late, but man, they pitched well. I mean, holy cow! You know, they made our offense. You know, they were ahead of our offense tonight. I mean, my gosh, I didn't want to. I know I had to look at this box score, but yeah, 14 strikeouts against a really good offense, and so I thought they pitched really well. They took advantage of, you know, an unfortunate situation for us, just a little hiccup here or there, and then you get walked off in the ninth. But man, look, must have been a great game for everybody to watch and enjoy, and there's a lot of good baseball, you know. So we came up on the short end.
We'll open it up to questions for the student athletes.
Monty Taylor, College Baseball Central. Patrick, that was one of your better performances. I know the numbers don't necessarily indicate it, but it seemed like they weren't able to touch your slider for most of the game. I mean, what was working for you? It felt like you were really in the zone there, kind of matching, their guy pitch for pitch.
Really just trying to get ahead. The slider was good late in the count. Just kind of try to get him in between the fastball and the slider. So that was working to get some swing and miss. They put some good swings on some balls. Give them credit. I tried to keep us in it, let the offense come back, but that's baseball.
Alexis Cubitt, Louisville Courier-Journal. Jake, Dan was just talking about the pitchers. I guess from your vantage point, what did you see from them, and how difficult was it to try to get some hits off of them?
Yeah, it was tough. They attacked us well. They kept us off balance. But as good as they pitched, it's kind of on us. We could have done a lot better as a group. So hats off to them. But as hitters, we know that game won't happen again. It's a rare occurrence that our pitchers keep us in for that long, and we don't help them out a little bit more.
Jake McKeever, College Baseball Central. Patrick and Jake, how does a team respond after a game like that?
Like we have been. Usually when we get a loss during the season, we usually come back the next game with an edge. So I think we're definitely hungry after this win, and that's why they give you 2 losses. It's not like basketball where you win, where you lose once and then you're out. So that's what makes this game great. So I'm looking forward to see how we respond.
Yeah, it's so what now what, saying that we use a lot. I think it's win or go home now. So I think you're going to see some of the best baseball out of us.
Noah Bieniek, 11.7's questions for Jake. Elite starting pitching was on display tonight. Both teams hitless through the first 3 innings. But in the 4th inning, when the shadows kind of completely covered the mound, the cap on the offense lifted. Did the shadows play any role in the ability of picking up the off-speed pitches today?
Yeah, a little bit. I think also that first go-around, for them seeing Patrick and for us seeing this guy, 2 really good pitchers. So the shadow played a little bit. That second AB definitely felt a lot clearer, but still, we got to get the job done.
Jake Munroe with Baseball America. Jake, what was it about Whitney's stuff that made him so hard to hit besides the shadows?
I think his short arm action. So Vila played up a little bit. He had his curveball today, his big one, which we weren't expecting him to throw as much as he was going to throw it. Just need to make an adjustment a little bit earlier. And then he was just all around the zone. I think he had 1 walk. He just kept attacking us, and he could land all pitches. So.
Patrick, Jake, thanks for joining us. Now we'll open it up to questions for Coach.
I guess, Dan, based on how your team has responded to losses, especially in the postseason, how confident are you going into that game on Sunday against Arizona?
I mean, there's no reason for us to not be confident. You know, we've it hasn't been the smoothest year. You know, success is not always a straight line, so we've had our bumps in the road, and we've zigged and we've zagged, and but like Patrick said, you know, we've been knocked on the mat a lot this year, but we have always gotten up. You know, and when you come from Louisville, Kentucky, and you have a Muhammad Ali uniform, you talk a lot of boxing, and you're going to get knocked down, especially with these teams. So I'm as confident as I think as a coach should be, and just looking forward to getting out there playing Sunday.
Mark Garland, College Baseball Central. Coach, when you find yourself in a pitching duel like that where both guys are just really finding all their stuff early, does it change any way that you guys decide to go about the game plan? Does it change anything at all for you guys?
you know, as a coach, man, you're just a little helpless. I mean, I had heard how good Whitney was. I just had never seen him, but it was one of those, hey, coach, this guy was, you know, first rounder out of high school if he wanted to sign, but unfortunately for us, he chose to go to Oregon State, you know, and then I think Patrick Forbes, I mean, his best days are ahead of him. I think the sky's the limit. So I think you're right. Like you know, not to take anything away from how talented the pitchers are, but take that talent with the shadows, it was like unhittable. I mean, it was like strikeout. I mean, and you're just hoping that, you know, give the hitters a better chance when the shadow comes over. But still, I mean, that's just elite stuff. And like Jake said, man, the breaking ball. I mean, we weren't. I mean, we know he had it. We were just probably hoping he wasn't going to land it as well as he did the breaking balls, because I mean, he really was throwing multiple pitches there, and you know, we finally got to him right in the 6th. I don't know if he had a 3-ball count. The first hitter of the game was a 3-2 count to Lucas, and then I don't know if he had a 3-ball count for about 4 innings. And then we got to him there a little bit in the 6th, and they made the change. So, but man, like I said, they pitched really well. And like Jake, you know, it's a confident group. Our group expects a lot. They're going to be very disappointed in how they were offensively, but you know, they did show a fight, and you know, and so, you know, we got to come out and fight on Sunday.
Terry Pennington, Inside Louisville Baseball. Coach, you talk a lot about turning the page throughout the season. As you guys do that on to Sunday, you know, you've seen Arizona before this year. Now, it was the 3rd game of the year, yeah. So a long time ago. But is there anything that you can take from that game into Sunday, or is it just kind of it's, you know, a different part of the season and you just kind of play it new?
Yeah, it's a whole new season. I mean, we'll look at our scouting report and look at that game, but my gosh, yeah, it's February 16th, you know, and so it's really a whole new game. You know, so we just and we're into scouting reports. We want to be organized. We want to be prepared. But you know, this is about us. I got to make sure these guys don't get too down on themselves, and they're competitive, and it's going to hurt. It's supposed to hurt, but I just got to get them back and get them some rest, and you know, as we like to say, win the day. So I got to get out there tomorrow and make sure those guys win the day and get ready for Sunday.
Coach, obviously you have a really good middle infield, and you've played on turf fields throughout this tournament in the first 2 weekends to get to this point. And it's such a tight game where it's just so marginal, and there's 3 balls that hit gloves in the middle infield. Do you look on that and think about anything possibly of the first 2 weekends here?
No, I mean, you know, again, Oregon State, a lot of teams play on turf. You know, Kamayu almost made some great plays. And then, you know, Alex's error was just very unfortunate. You know, I believe he's one of the best shortstops in the country, and man, we're blessed to have him as our shortstop. I mean, he's a superstar, and you know, probably just forced it a little bit. Those medium hit balls are sometimes the harder balls to handle when it's hit hard. You know, it's a little more reactionary when it's a slow roller. You're full speed. It's that medium ball that And we practice, bases loaded. There's one thing about turning a double play. There's another about turning a double play with the bases loaded. And we practice that, and we talk about it, and we really try to use it as a momentum swing. Like when your back's against the wall, man, we got a chance to flip this game right here. So even though, we're on defense and they've got runners on the bases, it's really an opportunity for the defense. And but fortunately, it didn't kill us. It was just one run, and the law of averages they got a good chance to score a run anyway. I thought the difference, when they had first and second, nobody out, and one gets away from Patrick, the wild pitch, and that just, you want a team to give you an out to get runners in scoring position. But when they don't have to use an out to get runners in scoring position, it's a ground ball up the middle, run. Then we have to bring the infield in because it doesn't look like we're going to score that many runs, and it's a ground ball. And before you know it, you feel like you handed them 2 runs. Now, they earned it. That's situational hitting. But if it's first and second, that ball that's hit to Alex is a double play ground ball. And that's just the fine line. And when you win, you don't really talk about it and people don't realize it. When you lose, you evaluate those things. But it's baseball. And if you're not going to score more runs, then, man, every pitch, every defensive play is it's crucial. And they dealt with it too, right, because of the error they made there, or errors, I guess, on that one play in the 9th. They get magnified, because it's such a low-scoring game. But that's what you love about baseball. I mean, there's a lot of ways to win, and unfortunately, there's a lot of ways to lose.
That'll conclude our press conference. Coach, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Hammond Communications will post a recording of this press conference